how divine masculine awakens, how divine masculine awakens, and the dance of this journey, how the two, the divine masculine and the divine feminine dances. Most of the times we've heard divine masculine this, divine masculine that, and divine masculine being the reflection, the mirror work. Divine masculine mostly is someone from outside. But before we focus into the divine masculine, who is an individual, let's come back to ourselves. There is masculinity energy within us. There's that energy of masculine in us, and the energy of femininity. So what happens when you meet with your twin, your counterpart? You are both unbalanced. You find that as a divine feminine, you've been in masculinity energy. You are in masculine energy, in logical, in control, in power. And the divine masculine is in that power as well. Now, one thing that you should know, if you are a feminine, there's that aspect of spiritualism. You've been someone who is spiritually awake, but you've not stepped fully into that femininity. You've not stepped fully into that femininity. And when you start awakening, it's kind of scary. Now, this has to do with something that happened in the past, in the previous years, or in a few years ago, maybe, let me not say a few years ago, 100 years ago, there have been persecution that was going on earth. A lot of feminines were persecuted, were killed because of the femininity. A lot of prophets in the past were killed because of femininity. So there is that history, there is that story already in the DNA. You cannot remember exactly what happened, but you can feel that there is something, there's darkness, there's this information around femininity. Every time you want to step into this feminine energy, you feel unsafe. You feel something not good about it. A lot of feminines were killed, persecuted in the past, 100 years ago, even thousands years ago, and that information is already in the DNA. There's a group of people called witches. A witch, a feminine and a witch is the same thing. And what is a witch? A witch is someone who is able to know things that others cannot know, is able to see. That same fact that you are able to know certain things that others cannot see, it became something that was a threat to manipulators, the leaders, the government, those who are trying to colonize others, those who are trying to use others to become rich, kings. So whoever was a witch and stepped into femininity and wasn't serving the purpose of certain leadership, that person was telling the truth, was killed. And that femininity, so there's too much negativity around femininity in the past years. this is one of the reasons why Jesus was killed, because he became a threat. He was too much into his femininity. Feminine. So, everyone now doesn't want to step into femininity because it's scary. Every person wants to go where it feels safe by embodying someone's belief or doctrine, teachings that feels safe. Yeah, I'll talk about, let's say, Christianity, believing in God from outside, because stepping into femininity, it's very scary. When you want to embrace the demons within you, you face them, you realize why you are here, and you shed out all the layers and start serving that purpose. There's this feeling that how is the world going to look at me? How are the family going to look at me? How my friends are going to look at me? So every person is trying to avoid that void. Like I said, there is memories in the DNA. There's that information of how those who came before you, how they were killed. How unsafe it feels. They were killed in a brutal way. And that story is in the DNA. You feel unsafe. And I can give an example. For example, let's talk about a baby who is just 3 months, maybe just weeks. If you throw this child, like you are praying with this child in a danger way, the child is scared and would ask the question like, wait, is this child aware of anything? No, but there's information in DNA about death. The child doesn't know about death, but is scared because the cells in the body has certain information that if I'm thrown into the air, I can fall and die. So this is what feels unsafe about femininity, and is what divine masculine runs away from. Now, masculinity is in both you and this divine masculine. You as a divine feminine, you have masculinity, and you stepped out of divine feminine and embodied the masculine, and then there is another person who has masculine or is too much into masculine. So now the two of you cannot be at one place because you are both masculine. So one is going to run, is going to avoid. When you start awakening and you awake, you start balancing, and balancing is realizing that you have to connect your masculine and your feminine has to be balanced. What is the feminine? The feminine, it's emotions, the art. The art has to do with emotions, feelings, and the art is connected to the right brain, which is the subconscious. So you start balancing the logical, which is the conscience, the thinking, the programming, with your art. You start balancing the decisions with the feelings, the plans and the feelings. They are balancing. This is what I call positive and negative, male and female. When you start balancing the logical, the mind, the conscience with your art, they start balancing very well without being one-sided. When you become too much of emotions, you are abandoning the masculine. When you become too much of logical programming, thinking, reasoning, you are abandoning the feminine. So you start balancing in between the two. So now what happens and how divine masculine awakens? When you step into the masculine or into the feminine, you rise into this feminine, you go deep, And as you are doing that, the body is healing. You are healing those trauma that I've just talked about, what happened around the feminine and how the masculine were or has been damaged. You heal those things in you. And every time you are doing that, you are affecting the other person as well. Now, divine masculine shuts emotions. And this has to do with the past traumas as well. Like in the past years, there have been wars on earth over land, tribes, so on and so forth. And humans or masculines have learned to be strong. And to be strong, they have shut off their emotions. In the past years, they closed their emotions. They closed them off so that they don't feel scared. Like in the past, it was the life of survival, hunting, wars. So for a man to protect the family, shouldn't have emotions. So they closed the emotions. And your masculine has the emotion closed so that it doesn't feel the pain. So since you are exposing him to emotions, he feels unprotected, and that's what makes him run away. So after you've awakened, you've balanced, you've gone up as a feminine, you've allowed him now to step into his femininity. Because this time around, he knows this journey is for the two of you. Despite him praying like he doesn't know, he wants to pray like he's just trying to pray smart because, like I said, it's logical, it's survival. So he's trying to protect himself because of the insecurity. And now he reaches at a point where he cannot ignore anymore. Whether he like it or not, he has to step into his emotions. You and him, you both have feminine and masculine. You both have that. And these are the unblocking of chakras. When his upper chakras gets unblocked, exposes him to see and to feel things that he has not been feeling, not just this time around, but even in past lives, or maybe those who came before him, because you and him have inherited certain traumas and wounds that you came to heal from these various families where you've born from. So he got all those and said, okay, give me your bondage, give me your troubles, I'm going to transform them. But he was made to forget about that. And he was programmed as well. So now, you and him, you are healing those same traumas, converting them, changing those emotions. So the time that he was running away, he was operating from the lower energies, from the root, sacral and solar plexus. In the past, masculine has been avoiding connecting to the heart because the heart makes men weak. If you are a man, you have to be strong because you have to protect your families from lions. You can't go hunting if you have emotions because you'll be meeting snakes. You can't go for war. You know what has been happening in the Middle East. It's been all about wars over and over. So to be strong, you switch off your emotions. Obviously, you've seen from African countries, in East Africa, if you are to prove that you are a man enough, you have to kill lions. The more you do that, the more it shows that you're a man. That means you detach yourself from emotions. Because when you have feelings, you cannot kill a big snake. The moment the snake advances towards you, you're going to feel your body moving, then you're going to run away. So you have to cross those emotions and This is why divine masculine has been running and awakening now. Happens that when you opened the heart, because you are the leading twin, you open the heart, you allowed him to start feeling those emotions, but he cannot speak it. He cannot say it out because the throat is closed and he doesn't even understand why he's feeling what he's feeling, and it's something that masculine has not been experiencing in the past, and that makes him more scared. So in trying to avoid that and running away from that, this is when he starts engaging into other relationships, trying to run away from the change. And from there, when the throat opens, in fact, in other cases, the throat cannot open because he cannot say what is happening until the third eye opens, the crown opens. Now he's able to see, is able to know. There is wisdom from the crown, and then that's when the throat now can begin to speak until he understands what is happening. And these are things that makes divine masculine to run away. It's not a decision that he can just make to say he has a decision. So in all this journey, you are guided. You are guided. You don't even have to be mad at divine masculine. Obviously, you've read how I've explained from the past, previous lives, from the time of Egyptian, from the time of Israelites, the Middle Persians, the Babylonian. On earth, it's been war and war over and over. So men has been taught to be strong in order to defend their families, and for them to be strong, they have to switch off their feelings. A man has to be strong, doesn't have to feel anything. When someone is in the army, they are taught to say, even the mother, you kill your mother, you kill your father, you don't have feelings. So they were converted into feelingless people. And this is what the masculine embodied. And the feminine, these are women. Women is about spending time with kids, friends, sharing mutual connection and feelings. Is different from a man. So when divine masculine awakens, they begin to feel these emotions. And this emotion comes from their feminine. Now the divine masculine's feminine side has been activated, and they can feel now. This is why divine masculine now can offer you a balanced relationship, a balanced respect, can feel guilt now, can feel uneasy when he does something else, because now his femininity is open. I hope I've said something that are resonating with you, and I can't say it all. From the few that I've said, obviously you are going to break it down to the point that you can understand it. It's not everything that you are going to hear, but you are the feminine, obviously. You're going to expand it. Thank you very much for watching the video up to this far. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your opinion in the comments. I salute.